It's almost time for Big Sound by Big Jeff. Not going off the rocker this week. We're going to have a normal, crazy, informative show. I know you can all hear me right now. We're about to kick it off here in about 25 seconds. Fasten all seatbelts. Bring all...
It's Big Jeff Audio in the chair. Have a seat and relax. Don't be going nowhere. Got guests coming on. They be giving advices. Check out the website for them dope ass prices. Lowest in town, yeah, that's a fact. He be keeping them down. He's a maniac. Giveaways done every 1,000 subs. And to any other channel, he show nothing but love. Big Jeff on the mic, you know he get down. What's the name of the show? Well, that's Big Sound. Big subwoofers, yeah, that's the type. Deviant for life, I'm saying smash the like, and we out.
Crazy about the chain, which normally it's a discussion in good terms, like, oh, that's real nice, blah, blah, blah. You know, the trolling of it turned into one of our probably biggest and fastest growing campaigns. So we have been shipping out chains left and right. We've been getting texts. So we're going to make the first giveaway for the small one and the big one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you better go check out the video, which I'll explain it there. But man, we're going to really blow it up. I didn't think it was going to take a trolling and turn it into an awesome campaign. So we're here. It is July 13th. I know last week we went off the rocker. My man, Kicker Andy, came in and helped me calm things down. But today, a big shout out to Big D, Derek, for putting a post up, saying what happened. I know there's a lot of talk, like, how that starts, like, it wasn't the true story. It was. We were all settled up, and things happened on his end. But I give him a lot of respect for getting up there and making things right. And hopefully, we'll have him back on very soon. But let's talk about tonight. This is episode 10. I'm charged up. It's been a crazy week. It's been always crazy weeks. But we're here. We got huge guests tonight. I've known him for years. JR from Massive Audio. Which is huge. Massive Audio has been around for a long time. At one point, man, they were up there with the big names, and I wouldn't say fell off, but just, you got to make changes and whatever. And they just recently started to revamp the website and lock things down, and they got a bunch of new product coming out. So we're going to talk about that tonight. First thing I need you to do, wherever you're at, YouTube, Facebook, hit that like button right now, right? We love likes. I work for likes. I work for shares. I work for subscribes. Make sure you do that. That helps us out. You got questions, pop them up. We try to get to them. We've made this. I don't know how many other podcasts you watch, and not say anything bad about any of them, but we wanted to make this an actual show with video inserts and other things. So we take a lot of time, my guys do, to put this together. And in return, we appreciate the likes, the shares, and the follows. If you got a comment, we're going to try to get it up. I'll say in the beginning and at the end, if you know somebody you want on here or you want to be on here, send an email to my guys at podcast@bigjeffaudio.com, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so we had a week off, but we hit the 19K, and I think right now we'll probably break 20 by this weekend. So tonight is announcing the winner for the 19K, which was a full system from TIMPANO, subwoofers, 2 amps, 4 6s, 4 tweeters, full system. And then, every 1,000 subscribers, we do another giveaway. And besides the 1 week, we've been doing it repeatedly. So we keep stepping it up. What else? We got that fundraiser on YouTube for Young Women's Breast Cancer Awareness, and we got right away donations, and it just died out. Look, do us a favor on the videos. Even $5, it just helps to go towards it. It's on the right of the video. It goes directly through YouTube to them. You know, $5, what's $5? Give something, help that cause out. We are also announcing new foundation. One of our followers, watchers, brought up about autism, and we're going to be doing the videos from here forward, actually having that on there. So look for that on the newer ones. Let's talk about Drunk Text campaign by Big Jeff. It's real. We got a winner this week. We can pull up a screenshot. Here we go. Jason Massey got texted from me, and ship him out some tweeters, and when he gets them, he'll send another screenshot or put it up on Facebook and tag us. If you want to be a part of that, you just got to text the word drunk to 737 Big Jeff. If you've done already, you're in the list. We're going to pick 1 or 2 people a week, and we'll start giving away different things. I think moving forward, I'll give you a little insight. Probably going to be giving away a few Ticker amp kits, 100% copper. So that might be a big winner. But definitely check the social media because we're always putting the winners up. Now, tonight, because we have the king of massive audio on, we're going to be giving away 2 amp kits. The AK4, the 4-gauge amp kit, and we're going to do 2 of them. So we'll start off the first one. If you want to comment the word massive, all you need to do is one time. We'll pick a winner later. Let's pull everybody on real quick. Where's my team? I always get to miss him at the end. Let's get JR on. There he is. There he is. We got Taylor Order. We got Ben Gavin. Taylor. And JR right there.
Your mic's going out there, Jeff.
Oh, mine is? Let me get a little closer. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good now.
JR, give us a little smile there. It looks like you want to kill somebody. Got all that product around there. Just give a little smile.
See, I can't really hear you that well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Give us a little smile. You look like you're a murderer. There you go. He's got a bunch of product around there. We're going to be talking about that tonight and some cool stuff coming up. So we got our team. We got JR night. We're going to have an awesome night. We're going to give away some stuff like we always do. We're going to announce a winner for that whole system, and we're going to do some more fun stuff. So let's take a quick video break, and we'll be back on with Mr. JR, VP of Massive Audio. Audio is almost a full line. I mean, there's marine, there's car audio, there's all types of stuff, even now in-dash units. Let's start here. JR, when did you become part of Massive Audio?
Well, I joined the team about almost 2 years ago. So I came on board.
You've been in car audio for a while, though. You started all the way back. How far back?
Since I was 16. I'm a fanatic. That's my thing. I love car audio.
100%. So when you get the chance to come on to Massive Audio, I mean, what was your first thoughts? I mean, at the point where the company was at that point, what was going through your head, good and bad?
Well, I've always specialized in working for companies that had factories and built product in the USA, and Massive had that, pedigree, but
Right.
they really sort of left it behind. And I really felt that if they could come back and follow what they were doing before with this American-made product, that we could put it back on top.
So I guess there was a note made, and I have no clue what it is, so I'm caught off guard. It says, tell us how you started Basic Perfection. What is that?
Okay, Basic Perfection was my first company I started when I was 16.
Okay.
So I used to go to downtown LA and purchase product and then sell it in high school. And what I had to do was, to get a business license, I had to coerce my mom into being my partner because I was underage.
Right.
So I told my mom, hey, you can't like having to be asking my dad for money all the time. I go, why don't we partner up together? You drive me downtown on the weekends and I'll sell the product, and, we'll split the profit. And then that's how it started for me.
So you talk about manufacturing in the U.S., and I think everybody nowadays thinks that everything is done in China, which is not true. There's many countries, and a lot of stuff is made there but brought here. Why did Massive decide to bring some of the subwoofer manufacturing back here?
Because the market changed. So the Made in America started losing its value. It became diluted because a lot of companies were lying. They were bringing in product from China and reboxing it and calling it Made in USA, and it really had no benefit. So we lost a lot of consumers. We lost a lot of trust.
Right.
So Massive, in order to stay, be able to sell and be able to compete, they had to do that too. But we did it a little bit different. Like if you look at our Hippo, what we were doing is we were still sending parts back to the China. So like the voice coils for the Hippo and the Boa, we use those are from Precision Econoline out of Florida, and they get sent to China, and then our woofer gets built and it comes back. But now there's really no advantage to that.
Right.
We can build almost the same as China can here. The problem we have here is we don't have a lot of the parts. Like I've been trying to look for a magnet manufacturer here in the US.
Right. Yeah, I hear the same thing.
Yeah, Toshiba was the last one, and they went out of business.
It's crazy how we can't do more here. John Rogue, big follower ours, says, JR, will you guys be making a DSP?
Yes, we did the Core 1 a few years ago. We were using some Brazilian engineers, and right now I'm working on a 10-channel and an 8-channel DSP. And then we also have this little unit here that's our entry level with DSP built in.
So an in-dash unit with DSP right there.
Yes.
That's
because
really
now it's
cool.
all chip-based.
Right.
So all the DSP is becoming all chip-based. So it's very easy to put into all the products, including amplifiers.
The thing that sticks out about me about Massive Audio, and I got to be able to sell it pretty quickly when I started Big Jeff Audio, but it was always that some of the product has been around forever. It's just, why change it? And I think sometimes manufacturers make so many changes, it hurts. The Hippo, the Sumo, that's like long-term kick-ass, powerhouses, you know what I mean? And I think people need to understand that Massive's been able to stay in business with a lot of the same SKUs because they're that good, you know what I mean? You got to physically try to hurt a Sumo or a Hippo, you know what I mean? I haven't got to play with the Boas, but when they started to come back in stock, there was actually a pretty good size demand. Explain to us and everybody watching why they want to invest that much money in a Boa or even the Neo version, because they're not cheap, obviously. But what makes it so good, in your opinion, and worth all that money?
Well, what happens is, other manufacturers, what they do is they move from factory to factory. So every time they move their product from one factory to another, they inherit that new factory's, problems. So the product never gets stabilized. With us, Eddie has been the owner since the beginning, and we've always kept a creation of our parts. So some of the parts we do share with other brands, but some of the parts, like the backplate for the R, the Hippo R, that's 1008 steel. That's called Japanese steel. It's not widely available in China.
Right.
So
you're saying the Boa is actually something different than the rest of the big expensive subwoofers. The Boa is,
and we're able to keep the price very low because we've been holding on to the parts. So like you said, one of the things is we have a very good price. We have very good authentic pricing, and that's because we hold our parts. So we didn't raise our price before, the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after. We're still in the same price points that we were.
Yeah,
But at SEMA, I am going to introduce some new products
that's
and a
awesome.
new look.
And everybody who's coming in now, we'll be giving away a massive audio amp kit. Just need to comment the word massive. I see Kicker Living Loud here, and Mr. Andy, always appreciative of you on here. We got audio sellers. Hope you have a great week. Pretty busy over there. That's a good thing, being busy. Let me ask you this. I see in the background what looks to be like an old school boombox. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, what it is nowadays we're getting out of the 12-volt, business, or not really getting out, but also incorporating higher voltage products. So like if you look for the EV cars, they're 450 volts, 800 volts, 1200 volts, and that's bringing in a whole new market for us.
Right.
So let's say we tie into a Tesla with 450 volts. I don't need these big old wires anymore to move 10,000 watts. I can move it through a 10 gauge wire.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. We don't need power supplies anymore. Once we tie into a battery bank, we have all the electrons actually in the battery.
Right.
And the power supply is what is the weakness in our product.
Wait, so you're saying and we wanted to get in this anyway because electric vehicles are getting more and more popular. It sounds like the government at some point is going to make that the thing to buy new. So you're telling me to keep our big car audio stuff. See, in my head originally I was thinking, man, without extra batteries, not alternators, how is that going to play for how long? Explain that a little bit. You were just saying that you don't even need power supplies.
Yes. So what happens is, a power supply in an amplifier is just jumping current from like 12 volts to 36 volts or 48 volts. But we don't need that. And that's the weakness, is you're pulsing a toroid and trying to get all these electrons from it. We can just get it from a lithium bank. We can charge the lithium bank at 12 volts, but I can make the discharge at 150 volts, 200 volts, 450 volts. And at that point, I don't need a power supply. With the new IGBT transistors, we can go just direct to the transistor. So you're
saying that the EV cars will be able to have big systems in there, or more than just a little single subwoofer or something. We're going to be able to do a full system in an electric vehicle.
So yes, in 2019, I was one of the first people to take a Tesla to the CES show, and that's what we did. We modified a system so that we could run big woofers in it, but we were still using a power supply. But that's when we figured out, oh man, if we just got rid of the power supply, we could get, 100,000 watts. Not really, but close to it actually.
Right.
We could, if we were able to use the full lithium bank, which that's the issue right now, is that the lithium banks are, segmented right now. So we could tie into some pieces. Like there's a vehicle called Loud Fiat that's been using a little Fiat. And what he did is he tapped into the suspension. So when he's competing, he's using the lithium bank that was used for the suspension. Since the car's not driving, it's not dangerous.
Right. So Massive right now is in production or designing product for Teslas and all these cars now.
Yes, right now what we're doing for SEMA, we're going to unveil some 150 volt and 250 volt amplifiers that work with lithium banks directly and outputs only.
Wow.
So that way we can charge at 12 volts, but we can discharge at 450 volts, 800 volts.
And for everybody watching, I'm in awe just because you don't hear a lot of manufacturers even talking about this right now. And it could be that they're doing it in the back end or what, but these are some things I didn't even know. Obviously, electric vehicles are a whole nother thing. And it's just crazy to know that we're going to be able to have those cars and still enjoy a loud system in there. When do you think Massive might be actually bringing that stuff to market?
So we're going to unveil it at SEMA, and we should be able to bring it into market shortly after. Right now, the problem is the legalities. That's why we're staying with the 12-volt charging system, and then we're using a lithium bank with a higher voltage output capacity. But we're hoping the laws change. And one of the reasons that you don't see other manufacturers doing it is because they don't have engineering. So a lot of people just go to China and go, yeah, I want this, I want that, I want that. So there's no engineering in their product. They're just following the market. That was the reason I came here to Massive. Is I want to lead the market. I want to make stuff that I want, stuff that I dreamed of.
Right.
And that's why I came here. I was retired. So they brought me out of retirement. I did pretty well for myself.
I already know my people that follow. They're gonna ask, so I'm gonna ask now. You have a system right now, and if so, what is it?
No, right now I just have a Mercedes with the stock system.
Really?
But I just bought a Jeep Gladiator to do up.
Okay. And any ideas what you're putting in there yet, or have you started deploying it?
I'm actually waiting for the new product because I want to use one of the new lithium amplifiers,
Right.
and go direct lithium to outputs. And right now we're testing a few different IGBTs. So IGBT is a new type of transistor that has all the benefits of a bipolar transistor and all the speed of a MOSFET. So, and it's perfect. They're almost indestructible. I mean, like right now,
I'm just blown away because it's going to be electric cars, period. I mean, there'll still be some gasoline, but eventually it's going to do that. I'm amazed that, and I always thought about, are we going to have to add separate charging or separate storage for it? And it's so cool to think that people can just go ahead and, even with less, because you're saying without a power supply and everything else, it's going to run smoother, smaller wires. We're not running zero gauge everywhere. I mean, that's just an incredible thing about. I know Massive has been dabbling in the market with head units. You guys released a double din, and I think you just released something else. What made you kind of take that turn there? I know for me, I see the sales in aftermarket going down just because cars coming with nicer new stereos and or ones you can't even replace. What was it that Matt said, hey, we're still going to keep some skin in the game there?
Well, one of the things is a lot of people don't know, but we're a OEM manufacturer also for other brands.
Wow.
So
wow.
we manufacture for TACO, which is the 5th largest car manufacturer in the world based out of Vietnam. Mazda owns part of them. BMW owns part of them. They have a bunch of different companies own a little bit of it. And what we're doing right now is we came out with a 24-volt line for the trucks.
Okay.
And then we said, hey, we need to come out with stuff that's OEM quality. I go, why don't we use it for our brand too? We have their numbers, so we can actually be competitive and bring in real technology, not just junk.
Right.
A lot of people, like I said, they just pick the same unit and redo it. A lot of people go, oh, well, your operating system is the same as BOS or this. And I go, yeah, but so is Windows. All the computers use Windows mostly, except for Macs. So all the operating systems are the same, but
Right.
it's what you put in the op amp. It's how you built the circuitry.
So what makes one of the Massive head units different than the rest, if you were to explain it?
The quality of the head unit. It's
right. I mean, I hated getting head units, and it always freezing up. The startup time, you're almost driving down the street before you can even start playing music. That's the type of stuff you're not going to see in Massive head units. Then.
Yes. So imagine this. Do those problems exist in an OEM scenario? No, they don't.
No.
And that's why we decided to go in, because we saw a lot of failures, a lot of issues, a lot of glitches. Like with a lot of the head units we compete against, they're just full of glitches. They don't have a good screen, capture. The screen's not good. It's not showing a good, resolution.
Right.
They don't have good audio sections. They don't care about the audio section. To them, hey, 20 watts is 20 watts. To us, that was very important to make a musical. We're in the music business. So for us, we want to make it sound good. One of the things about Massive that's different than every other brand, mostly I would say, is, our price is very low, but our quality is very high.
So time, what do you think is, when you think Massive, which woofer do you think is Massive known for? Is it the Sumo line or
Hippo XLR?
Yeah. I mean, that's Hippo. Just, it's not even
and that drives me crazy because I see people on the forums.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you glitched.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You said you see on the forums.
The Hippo. Yeah. Yeah, so the Hippo on the forum, what we see is people go, hey, what Massive woofer should I use? Everyone recommends the Hippo, but they don't have the alternator for it. They don't have the battery bank for it. They don't have the wiring for a 2,000 watt, 3,000 watt. So that's one of the campaigns that we're starting now. That's why we bought all this Magnum test equipment from TermLab, is to be able to educate people and maybe even come out with an amp kit that has 3,000 watt plus connections. Because you can't use you can't tie to a seat bolt and try to move 300 amps to a seat bolt. Right. And that's what kids are trying to do. But we have a solution for that too. So we have a circuit called BB that we started putting in, that we will have these as real product at SEMA. where the car can go down to 5 volts
What?
and our MOSFETs won't blow up.
No way.
Yeah, they'll go from 35 volts to 5 volts.
You
And
know,
they'll
this
be getting a constant 10 to 10.5 volts.
I'll tell you what, every time I do a
Really funny.
podcast and I get a different manufacturer, I always learn stuff. A lot of it I already know. Tonight is probably the first night I'm just blown away with some of this stuff. And we got to understand, as the world changes, the technology changes, and the way we live changes, so is our hobbies. And, you know, this is going to change. And, you know, we're talking about it here tonight. Well, we got some messages here. We need a 6 upgrade. Let me see what else we got. 4.4 talk, discard this even. Okay, in the background. So you take a Hippo and then they try to put a big giant amp in there, no extra battery, using a factory battery. They got probably an 80 or 100 amp alternator, and then they're wondering why stuff's heating up or even more blowing a sub like that. I could tell you, in selling massive audio for almost 4 years, we don't get those subs back, even though they're not a warranty, it's a recon, but we don't even get that. And that tells me the quality of it. You know, when you're selling hundreds of woofers, you would normally see some type of return. They've always blown my mind. I just like the look, the feel, you know, just touching it makes it feel like a solid woofer, if that makes sense. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
The reason is that, number one, we don't ship anything wet. Like the other manufacturers order from a factory and they ship it overseas and it's wet. No one's ever listened to it. We have an arm in China called Massive Audio Corp, which is our Chinese arm. And what they do is they quality control all the product and test it before it's shipped here. So we're not shipping unknown product. We're shipping product we already tested.
Right.
And, you know, for us, it's a little bit less expensive to test it there. But we are going to start building woofers again in the USA. We just moved our facility in China so we can stock more product, not just parts. And now we're moving our facility in California so that we can do the same, so we can stock more product and we can start building here.
Everybody, I'm seeing your comments. There is some kind of glitching going on. I don't know if it's StreamYard or Facebook or YouTube. Just stick it out. Obviously, we're always going to play these back on Spotify, and we'll have the full video later on. But I'm seeing comments. If we don't get to you, it might be because of a glitch. But, you know, we're all learning a bunch tonight, which is really cool. If you haven't already done it, make sure you comment the word massive so we can do a amp kit giveaway. I was going to ask what's next for Massive Audio, but you're telling us right now what's next. I mean, I know you guys came out with a more budget-friendly woofer, which was just kind of around Black Friday. What was the model number on that one?
I'm not sure.
The one you geez, I'm drawing a blank now. Not the TK series. What is the series?
Well, we have the ECO, which is our 1.5 inch coil, basic entry level woofer. But what we did is we kept it at a 1.5 inch so that we could make the coil longer.
Okay.
So if you make a fatter coil, then you make a smaller top plate, but you limit the throw. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to make the most efficient woofer out there.
Right. So you're saying even a smaller coil still getting the same output because of the excursion, the movement of it, correct?
You get more.
Yeah.
But the problem becomes that, people want to abuse it. It's an entry level woofer. Unfortunately in car audio, the motor on the speaker is the same as a motor in a car. A motor in a car can go over 100 miles an hour, but no one drives it at 100 miles. But a woofer, they want to drive it at 120.
Right. And nonstop. Yeah. We're getting to that time. We're going to do a giveaway time. We'll give away the first amp kit coming up. That is the AK4 4-gauge amp kit. Ben, is it giveaway time? Do we got a winner?
Another giveaway. Do another giveaway. Do another giveaway. Do another giveaway. Do another giveaway.
Big Jeff giveaway. Big Jeff giveaway. Big Jeff giveaway.
Yeah, Big Jeff, hay que hacer otro giveaway. Big Jeff, hay que hacer otro giveaway.
Okay.
It's giveaway time.
All the stuff we give away, man, I still get people, that
It amazes me. It's like we do all these giveaways. We give you a chance to sign up. People still always asking for stuff. But did we pick a winner for the first amp kit? JR, when they pop it up, you can announce the winner.
Yeah, Nathaniel Stewart, you're the winner.
Yeah, congratulations. Contact my team at 737 Big Jeff, and we will get you out a massive audio 4-gauge amp kit. For the next one, you have a chance. Let's see. We'll do the word. I'm missing amplifier. Comment the word amplifier. Do it now for the next giveaway. We're going to take a short video break, and then we're going to come back with JR, and we're going to do some Car Rodeo 101. We'll be back here shortly. You know, my guys put time into making this stuff to break it up and let everybody enjoy some music. And I think that's why Big Sound by Big Jeff's been as popular, just because it's not a standard, just people sitting there talking about nothing. We learned a lot tonight. We're going to get into some Cardio 101, JR, just basic questions. We'll give you a chance to answer, and we'll take some comments. I do want to bring back up the whole hashtag Team Big Jeff Cuban link. So it's been a craze. I think we got a video for it. You guys want to play that real quick? Hey, it's Big Jeff coming to you with another crazy giveaway or a campaign, whatever you want to call it. I call it Lemons in the Lemonade. Recently, we had some trolls making jokes about the real chain, so we turned it into a campaign. It's going to be Team Big Jeff Cuban link. Remember that. First step to this promotion is to text the word chain to 737 Big Jeff. That is free. That enters you in a monthly giveaway. The step further is at that point, on your next order, you will leave a note saying, send me my chain. As long as we see your text and you're in the small one, we will send you the chain. When you get your order, take a selfie, put it on social media, tag us, and hashtag Team Big Jeff Cuban link. You get another 500 rewards points, and you get entered in the next month. That prize will be a big one. I'm not sure we're going to give away. I'm going to go off how many people actually do this. The more the merrier, the bigger it gets. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Other than that, there's no other stuff you got to do. This is a simple one. So, you've all been invited to jump on Team Big Jeff Cuban link campaign. Send out some chains out to you guys to put them on your team over there and get some pictures. It's been huge. We got, got my Big Jeff chain today, hooked me up with other goodies. Always every order from bigjeffaudio.com. You have freebies. We will be starting, hopefully, if not tomorrow, next week, where you will start to be able to pick out your goodies and also sign up for small rewards. And one more thing, we will be having Big Jeff Pay. So instead of Snap, Catapult, and the rest where you're doing a lease, you can get approved for like a line of credit that you can use whenever. You don't have to wait for the lease to end up or pay off. So that's another thing happening. We keep trying to make things to keep the customers coming directly to the site. We appreciate everybody picking us over multiple companies, and that's how we give back. So tonight's Car Audio 101, let's see here. And also, if you haven't commented the word amplifier, make sure you do that. All right, JR, why would somebody want a monoblock amplifier instead of a 2-channel?
Well, because the monoblock normally is a D-class amplifier, and it's more efficient. It's going to give you more power. The monoblock amplifier also is going to give you, well, it depends on the quality of the monoblock, but if you were able to just tailor the amp just for bass, then what you could do is you could modify some of the stuff inside to make it actually have more power, more current, because you're not looking for like sound quality. Like we have a Drago D6, that's just for current. You know, it gives you the maximum current.
Right.
Then we have a Primo 8, let's say, and that's a similar amplifier, but that one's a single-ended, so it's not bridged. It's optically coupled, so it's for sound quality. So It actually sounds good. Whereas if we were to get like a high-speed digital amplifier and trying to make it, which we do have, like the E3F and E4F, they're monoblock amplifiers that are full range. That's more for like open show.
Right.
So you will lose a little bit of emphasis on the bass because we're trying to tailor it so that it sounds good throughout a wider range. So if we're able to limit the range that it operates in, then we can do a lot more things to it. Plus, there's less noise. So noise is now becoming something of the past because we're switching at a much higher speed now with high-speed digital type amplifiers. We call them high-speed digital, but they're really high-speed Class D is what it is. Mm-hmm. But they're switching at over 500,000 times per second. And so the range where they make noise is outside the audible range.
So you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it, but still the technology is new and it's not quite as effective on bass.
Right.
You know, you lose a little bit to gain the higher frequency, you lose a little bit of low end extension.
We got a question from Tri-State Jeep. I'll chime in on this one. He says, can I run a 3K amp on a 250 amp alternator with a big 3 kit without an extra battery? So one, I would say make sure the factory battery is something worthwhile. Two, you're only doing 3K amp. You should be fine with that much amperage if that's your only amp. Keep in mind, no matter how much storage you put in there to hold the power, you have to recharge it. So that's why an upgraded alternator, and I'll give a big shout out to MechMan, which I don't know if Tony's in here tonight or not, but those high amp alternators supply that power. Here's how I explain it. Say the car you're driving has an 100 amp alternator. Okay, most cars do nowadays with all the electronics. But the car needs 40, 50, 60 amps to run everything, the AC, lights, windshield wipers, everything. So there's not much amperage left over to put back in the charging. And the worst thing people do is they have it full blast with the AC on, the lights on at night, and they pull up to a stop and they just turn it off. They don't even allow it to charge back up. You do that multiple times, you just keep wearing the battery down. So to answer your question, I think 100% if you had a good battery under the hood and a high amp alternator for 1 3K amp, no issue at all. My rule of thumb, Tri-State, is more the merrier. And the more places you can add batteries or step up to lithium, the better, because it's just more reserve you have to beat up on it. Or if you're a person that plays the vehicle not running, that's where it comes up. Let's see if we got another question. Taylor B, can you find us another good one in here that we could bring up? Let's see here.
Yeah, I'd like to add something real quick.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So I've taken over the technical support line for a little bit just to play around and see what some of the stuff is.
Right.
And the biggest problem I see is people that, let's say you do have a 250 amp alternator and you're running it for half an hour, you park your car, you wait till the next day, you start your car again and you start beating up your system. Guess what? You don't have 250 amps because, like you said, 60 amps are going for the audio for the car.
Right.
But
and those are just guesses. It could be more. Right. Yeah.
Are going to recharge your battery. So in reality, you have less than 120 amps going to the amplifier. And at that time, you're going to blow up MOSFETs. And that's 100%. Why we came up with the BB circuit, so that can't happen.
Okay. So here's some things I don't think anybody's really ever talked about. I know I haven't. I've been selling massive audio for years and not understanding that they have this technology in this newer product. I'm seeing the comments. Everybody's blown away. This is what this is about with the podcast, and not everybody doesn't know everything. And there's always something to learn. And I think we've learned that tonight with electric vehicles, the difference in the chips and the monoblocks and everything else. Some people think because they know power and ground and a remote turn on that they know everything. And, if you take this hobby serious and start to get into DSPs and changing octaves and frequencies and everything else, or understanding why some amps are more expensive than others, it's not about where it comes from always. It also is about the technology that's in it. It's about being more efficient always, right? Be able to create clean power using less power, right? And the analogy I always gave is I used to own an F-150 V6 Eco that with the twin turbos in it and doing exhaust and intake, I was able to produce the same amount of output as a V8 and with a 6-cylinder. So
I look at it as that the truck was more efficient, better gas mileage, and produced almost the same torque and the same top speed. It's the same thing with car audio. Cheaper product is cheaper for a reason. It has less technology, and the parts inside are the basic, like you said, picking out at a candy store and saying, hey, put all this in there, box it up with my name. Obviously, massive audio has never, been like that and continually not be like that. What we got here, Todd Anderson says, so if you have a normal car battery and run a lithium in the trunk, do you need a converter or anything to run an inline from a battery under the hood to the one in the trunk? So the first thing I'd say, and I've learned this, Sean Mayo from X Power always beats this in my head, the lithium battery has to, well, depending on what type you have, they have to equal out with your standard battery. If the lithium needs to charge at 15, 16 volts, and your regular battery won't do that, or your alternator won't go up to that, your lithium is never fully getting charged, and you're going to have balancing issues. You want to jump in on that one too, JR?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the controllers for the lithium battery become the most important thing. How the controller is charging all the individual cells. You know what I mean? So that's what makes the difference between a C-Max and LTO. The different the controller is, the better it is, the safer you'll be running a little bit mismatched.
Right.
But if you use something not very high quality and you try to assemble it yourself.
Well, that's the C-Maxes, right? People are into that, but that's an explosive battery. Man.
Yeah, they make their own oxygen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's
it's hard
scary.
to turn off that type of fire.
Right. But they want to save money and they get them out of junkyards and wreck cars and everything else. They don't want to spend the money to buy an LTO battery like the excess power cells we sell. And you're taking a huge chance. Man, I could tell you we have sold literally thousands of those cells. We buy them up before they even get in the U.S. And, man, we probably out of, 16, 17,000, maybe have had 4 or 5 that had a broken stud or a little bit of leakage. But you're paying for that Yinglong type cell compared to going to C-Max that was ripped out of a car that was in an accident, right? Already banged up. That's scary to me and not worth really saving that money. The part of that question, too, he was talking about an isolator, too. Here's my thought on the isolators. Let me see if that was what he was asking. Oh, an inline battery. Okay, I thought I said about an isolator. So, funny thing on isolators, they were originally designed when people were putting multiple amount of batteries in the back, and that dies out. So does the car battery. You can isolate it. I think what we're doing in my Yukon, we're running 3 MacMan alternators on a ton of excess cells. But we also put back in the mix the factory alternator just to run the factory battery and the electronics, because the MacMan's going to be running at 16 volts and higher. And when that motor revs up, it's going to be even higher. Good chance it can fry some factory electrics. So instead of doing an isolator, we just isolated the factory. Well, we're still doing a AGM, but a 12-volt style, and we're using the factory alternator. So answer that question, I would say, yeah, it's good to isolate sometimes, especially when you're dealing with tons of amps of power. I mean, I don't think people realize that that's welding. That starts to ground out. Good luck to stop it. And then if you're using C-Max in that, you're not using a fire extinguisher to put that out. Your car is gone. Caleb Thorne, Jeff, you guys going to be at Sundown Show in August. 100%. The F550. Do you guys happen, or Ben, can you pull up that picture? I'll give you some time to find the last rendering. Oh, there it is. We just approved the wrap for it. They're starting that next week. It is a 6-door F550 we bought to pull the Big Jeff trailer. I am told the Yukon hair tricks for $1 will be done by the end of the month, and we will be loading up tons of giveaways going to the Sundown Show for sure. JR, you're over on the other coast. Do you still get time, or do you go to any car shows over there?
Yeah, we've been starting to do a lot more local shows here.
Oh, okay.
So, we have, massive goals. He's been going on the weekends to promote the brand. So something that we started doing a lot more. The reason that we're doing it too is I was gathering a lot of information to see how the competitions are doing now, because we're ready to start building competitor product again. So
Right.
we did that with our Rhino and with our Gordo. And what ended up happening is it got so popular, everyone started putting in the regular cars, but it was for perps only.
Yeah.
So then we transitioned to the Hippo to make it for, consumer vehicles. But now we're seeing the need for competition only gear, and we're starting to build that too.
100%. So we're getting real close, everyone, announcing the giveaway, the big one, 18K, which we blew by. Ash Larry, if you're running a dedicated 16-volt system, can you still ground to the frame while supports the factory 12-volt system? Great question. This is one I'm going to answer, and I'm going to go on disclaimer that I'm not 100%. I wish Sean Mayo was in here tonight. He could tell us, but we will get the info. I'm going to say it's not going to matter. The ground is completing the circuit, but they're still two separate circuits. But that's actually, Ash, that's a great question. JR, can you chime in on that? Because I don't want to say 100% for sure. I never even thought about it.
Well, one of the reasons that I would assume they're running 16 volts is to get more power. And let's say
Right, but he's saying about grounding if they're both the 12-volt. Yes,
so I'm getting to that.
Battery.
So
Okay.
what would happen is I'm assuming it's for higher power. And if it's for higher power, you're not going to get the factory vehicle is only designed to maybe 120 volts. And, the electrons move the current. So you're moving current through a big beam in the car. Number one, it has to be on a chassis. And number two, you're only moving on the surface of the beam itself. It's normally not going to be enough current. You should run separate, just like you run the power wire, you should run ground wire.
Oh, okay. So you're saying they should be running it all the way front and back.
Yes.
Grounding it. Okay. So
the ground is more important.
That's a better answer, right? So
yeah.
If you're running the batteries for the 16-volt, power and ground it there at the battery and your amps, your system, everything, and then utilize the frame for the 12-volt section, that's a way better, safer answer. I would definitely go with that. Living Loud with Andy said, just disconnect the 12-volt battery ground. But you still got to have a ground to complete the factory. I think that's what he was talking about. We are getting close for this huge giveaway, but we're going to give away the Massive Audio 4-gauge amp kit. If you haven't done it, you better do it now. Comment the word amplifier. And do we have another one? It's giveaway time.
Make it rain in this mother.
It's giveaway time.
Evil on that. JR, same thing. My guys are going to pull out a winner for the second Massive Audio AK4 amp kit. If you want to announce the winner, drum roll, please. We got a winner, guys? Oh, there we go. Go ahead, JR.
Samuel Coachell?
I'm going to go with that. Coachell. That'll work. Congratulations, you are a winner, and you just need to contact 737 Big Jeff. We will get you up. Let's get one more question here. I'm running two BOA 151s in my Subaru. What would you suggest power them in a straight SPO build? I know Massive Audio did away with the big BP amps, but you do have some new big amps. What would you recommend to run that, JR?
For each bowl, I would recommend a D6.
Okay, on each one?
Yeah, on each one.
Okay.
Isolate them, separate them.
Right.
You would have a benefit of putting all the voice coils in parallel. You'll get like 1.5 dB per connection of gain. But the issue becomes, these are 1 ohm voice coils already. So it's very difficult to get an amp that can run basically on a short.
Gotcha. So will they take the 24? Well, before you answer, my belief in this, and I'll let him finish, more the merrier. You can always turn it down or gain it down. Once you overgain it, you're just getting into distortion world. So I'm a big believer that if the gains need to go past halfway, definitely not enough power. But will they handle a 24K?
Yes, if it's clean power. What really, so on the 24K question, I've been asked that before. And in reality, it becomes on the frequency at your tuning. So what's the impedance at your tuning frequency? So if these amplifiers at 1 ohm put out 24K, right? What do they put out at 30 ohms? Not a lot. So if they're using a 24K and their tuning frequency is like, let's say 30 hertz, where there's no music, then all we're going to be seeing is a really high resistance and the woofer is going to blow up. So if it's done correctly. So we did a BOA running off the wall that we're going to do a competition and say, hey, let's see if other brands can do it.
Right.
We can do it because everyone says, hey, the ball blows up stuff. Doesn't blow up our stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, JR. I've known you for years now. We've talked over the year, man. I'm blown away, man. I knew you knew your stuff. I knew you've been in this industry, but you really took it to another level tonight. I wasn't even prepared for it. Tonight was a awesome surprise. I think everybody in here learned a lot tonight. We had some really good discussion. I would say this podcast, even all the rest, we went into another level of talk about car audio, which is awesome. SJC audio guy, where is Massive Audio located? Massive Audio is located in my warehouse first, but if you're not by my warehouse, where are you located there, JR?
We're in Commerce, California, and in Guangdong, China. So like I said, we have 2 facilities that we operate out of. We're sort of independent from each other because China, the way that we don't have to add margin from our operations in China is we also sell in Asia. Right. And they sell through that, arm, and we sell through the United States and other export. So we're really, in 2 countries.
Right. And if everybody didn't see, guys, can you scroll over on the bottom, the social media and that for Massive, you guys can get on their social media. They are really starting to put some time and energy back into that. Okay, let's get to, what everybody's been waiting for. It's 8:21. So, JR, I started when we moved to the new building. I got on there, put a foot in my mouth, and I said, every 1,000 subscribers will do a giveaway, right? And from there, each week we kept hitting it. Some weeks we did 2,000, 3,000. So we're at right now. One of you guys in the background, could you do a quick check what we're at right now with YouTube? But we have the 18K and the 19K will be coming up on Sunday at 6 p.m. And we're going to let's do a big Massive Audio system front to back. That's what we're going to do this giveaway. You still got to watch the video because I'm going to, all right, I just got a message. We are 19.7K on YouTube. So we'll definitely break 20. We'll be on the next one already. We'll do a big Massive Audio front to back for upcoming. You still need to watch the video. Even I told you what you're going to win. You won't know exactly till then, but we're going to change it up every time what you need to do to enter to keep everybody on their toes. Man, it is the 18K, or excuse me. Yes. Is it the 18K? Yeah, 18K giveaway. Man, it flies by so fast. That's what we're giving away. Now, keep in mind, everybody, there was a new change on this one. You had to go to your social media and hashtag Big Jeff 18K and tag us, a part of leaving your comment in YouTube. I can't tell you how many people won because we picked it in YouTube first, and then we went to their pages, and there wasn't any post. Remember, for us to keep doing these big giveaways and giveaway free stuff, it's about growing our platform. So we need you to follow along. So this next one coming up, please pay attention. But we do have a winner tonight. I'm excited. This is a huge system. Big dummy moment. What were you talking about, living loud? I hope it's not me. Did I have a big dummy moment? Nope. Okay. Now you get the question. All right, let's move on. The winner, JR, you can announce it too. This is big. This is a full system. Subs, amps, mids, and highs tonight goes to P Shizzle. You want to read that?
P Shizzle.
Yeah. What did he write us there? I'll read it. Toluca, Mississippi. It would be awesome to win as a day one subscriber. Also, I've never had a complete plan set up before. I would rip my Scar audio out in 2 seconds if I. Well, there's actually a link to his Facebook sharing out, which he did multiple times, and his comment on YouTube just to show you we actually look at this. P Shizzle has been around since day one, and this is your first time winning a big season. I'm not even going to tell you how to get a hold of us because I know you do. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys backing us up on the trolls out there. This is awesome. There's Peach Chisel right now. Yo, thank you guys. You just got set up with a big TIMPANO system. Keep in mind on the next giveaway, pay attention to the rules. Let's see here. Bring up someone commenting on the video. All right, I got that. Let's final thoughts here. JR, you've been awesome, man. I'm being honest, and everybody knows I'm a straight shooter. I say how it is. I knew you knew your shit. We've been knowing each other for years, but you took it to another level tonight that I wasn't even ready for. And I thank you for that because that helps us take this show to another level. And I think if people didn't know about massive audio, they do now. And every time this video gets watched, I think we're going to put people into the team Massive Audio. We are a full stocking distributor. We keep a lot of product on hand. We are also approved and authorized. Now, let me explain this. Massive Audio years ago put up on their website who is legit to buy from online. Serial numbers are tracked, and now they've even stepped it up a notch with Amazon. And we're proud to say we'll be one of 2 only approved to sell on Amazon. Now, you want to buy on Amazon, go ahead. You can buy from a website and still check out with Amazon Pay, plus get the free goodies. I don't care as long as you're buying Massive Audio product. I don't think JR cares where you buy from. But we are with them on multiple levels, and we're going to continue to stay with them and continue to take this to another level. JR, thank you so much, man. Next week, same time on Thursday, we're going to have Parker, the bass head. Man, me and him have done a lot. We're going to actually be parked together at the Sundown show. He has done a lot of product reviews. I got to give love to him because he's always give love back. And he is a non-biased guy. I know he's doing this big build right now. He will be here live next week talking about that. If you all want somebody on the show or you want to be on the show, email podcast@bigjeffaudio.com, and we will do our best to get it done. Help us out with the car shows in your area. Send us video or pictures or a link, and we will put it up online. We will shout you out. It will help our platform and everybody that's on it. We're always looking for stuff like that. We have a special next week. We have a follower, a customer that made some custom Big Jeff Nikes. We're going to unwrap them live next podcast also. I mean, that JR, that's the type of support we're getting from these fans, followers, man. You know, it really, with all the stuff I do and how busy I am, this is what keeps me doing it. My team, if you guys want to pop back up on here, I got a full team here that makes this happen every week. Big shout out to them and a big shout out to everybody else. We got winners for some Massive Audio amp kits. We got the full TIMPANO system, and we will be giving away a full Massive Audio system that will start Sunday at 6 p.m. on YouTube. And JR, I think right before season, let's schedule to get you back on. I think you'll have more product in by then, right? We could talk about and go over. So guys, we'll see JR here again in the near future. It is 8:28. We kept it right at the hour. Thank you, my team. Thank you to all my followers for another awesome podcast, number 10. Big sound by Big Jeff. You guys are awesome. We're out of here.
Thank you for having me.
Big Jeff Audio.
Je ne sais quoi.
Big Jeff Audio.
Je ne sais quoi.